What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to 2022. I hope everybody had a safe and happy holiday season. Happy New Year to everyone. All right. This is our first show for the year, and I thought what we would do, we would kick this thing off with a series. You know, I do a lot of things around my house as far as the electrical system is concerned and trying to make my house into a performance home. So what I want to do here is I want to kick a series off, and what that series is going to try to help you decide whether you want to go solar or whether you want to put batteries in your house or whether you want to do a smart panel. Each one has their pros and cons. I'm not going to say that you should go with either one or you should go with all of them or what the deal is. I've installed them in my house, in my home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my information with you. So how are we going to do this thing? I'm going to take the data from the span panel, my electrical bill, and the Tesla app. I'm going to chart that data month by month, and then I'm going to share that data with you. And then you can take your data and say, well, this will be beneficial to me, or if it's just something you want to play around with or something you want to get into, that's something you can say, well, I'll jump into it and I'll get it done. You know, I'll play around with it. Okay. All right. First thing is we got to take a look at last year's data. Okay. So I got to set, the stage for what happened last year and see how we can better it this year and the plan going forward as far as how it can help you. And if you want to, you can follow along. Just get your bill and if you don't have like any consolidated thing where you can put all that data, just get each bill and then document how much electricity you've used for the year. All right, last year, let's look at the data from last year. Last year, my home used 15,066 kilowatt hours of electricity. So this is without a solar system. If I didn't have a solar system or anything, I would use 15,066 kilowatt hours. At 13 cents a kilowatt hour, that's kind of what we're here. We're going to use that number. It may be different where you live, but here in South Carolina, that's about average. I think it's a little lower if you use or a little higher from 0 to 800, and then it keeps changing. So we're going to look at that. We're going to say at 13 cents a kilowatt hour and 15,000 kilowatt hours, you're looking at $1,958.58 a year. So basically what that is, that's $164 a month that you can expect to pay on your electrical bill if your home basically generates about a little less than 1,200 kilowatt hours a month. So if you use that much, then ta-da, you're gonna pay about $140, $150, $160 a month. Okay? Pretty easy, right? So how did my home consume that much electricity? So what we did was the solar system provided me with 32.2% of my electrical. The power wall generated 23.3%. And I got 44.4% of that energy from the actual grid. Okay, so as you can see, 55.5% of my home's electricity comes from solar. So 55.5% of that comes from solar. That's about, if you look at the cost of solar, which is about 9,300, my system produced about 9,300 kilowatt hours last year. If you look at if you take that and say, well, 13 cents a month, 13 cents a kilowatt hour, 9,334 kilowatt hours, you're looking at about $1,213.14, I'm assuming. So something like that. So it's about $1,200 that I'm getting deducted from my bill every month. Okay? Too easy, right? So how we come up with the 55% is 32% of the solar is straight solar. That means when the solar comes into the home reuses that solar. And then you have an additional, 23% that went to the power wall. So all that energy that came into the power wall went to that came from solar. Some went to the power wall and some went to the home. Now the energy that came to the power wall, what happened was that energy is then consumed to the home later. So when the sun goes down, then the Powerwall kicks in and provides the electricity for my home. That's how the Powerwall works. That's how batteries work, okay? Everybody tracking? Everybody good with that so far? All right, so the bottom line, you spend all this money on solar, you spend all this money on getting the panel, because the panel is not cheap, and you get the batteries. The batteries are not cheap. So $1,900 plus a year is what it would cost you if you didn't have any solar. If you put solar, a 9.9 kilowatt hour system on your home, it's going to generate about $1,200–1,300 a year in actual solar power. So you take the $1,900, subtract the $1,200 and some dollars away from that, and you about $745 is what you have left over that you have to pay. So that's about $60, $64, $60, $62, $63 a month, somewhere in that area, right? So you're paying about $60 a month. You went from you would have been paying $163 a month, but because you had the solar system, and now you're going to be paying like $60 some dollars a month. All right, now this does not take into account what it costs you for your solar system, because some people's solar system is paid off. Some people's batteries are paid off. The span panel may be paid off. So this does not take that into account. Remember that, this does not take that into account. So something to think about, okay? So you can basically run your numbers and see how that pans out. All right, so next month, guys, what we're gonna be looking at next month, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you're wondering, should you get a solar system or should you get batteries or a panel, we're gonna take the data from the span panel, which I installed a couple months ago. We're gonna take that data and we're gonna start using that data. And how we're gonna use that data is we're gonna try to find what we call ghost power or vampire power, or power, basically things that I may be able to turn off and save myself a little bit of electricity. I'm going to use what is called a Habitat hub, and I'm going to attach a Habitat elevation hub. I'll leave a description to that down in the description area. That's a small little hub. It's about $99, and you can attach what is it's called a Z-Wave switch or a Wi-Fi switch or something like that. You can attach that to the actual hub, and then you can turn that appliance on or off. So we'll be doing something like that. Now I won't be turning off my refrigerator. I won't be turning off my freezer or anything like that, or my air conditioner. I won't be turning any of that off. I'm just gonna turn off little things, cause stuff like your DVD player, I got Wi-Fi speakers. I may be able to turn that stuff off and save myself 40, 50 kilowatt hours a day, or 40, 50 kilowatt hours over the course of a week, which eventually would add up and lower my overall electrical consumption. So that's the plan, guys. So like I said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button and just follow me along. Get your information and chart as I go through every month. And if you don't know what vampire power is, you can buy, you can get a small kilowatt meter, and when something's off, if you think it's turned off like your TV, if it has a light on it, of course it has to have power, right? So plug the kilowatt hour in there and see how much electricity it's pulling. Multiply that by 24 hours, and then 24 by however many days in a year, and how many days you have that particular device plugged up, and see how much that is actually costing you. And you might just need to unplug it. If you unplug it, then it'll save you so much more money and energy. So the goal is, right now, I got 1,200 kilowatt hours of electricity a month. So if I can get that right at around to 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, then I think we'd be great. So, join me. Subscribe to the channel so we can go on this journey together, and we'll see if we end up using more electricity than last year or using less, because that's going to be interesting, because I have a couple servers that is not on the network, that was not part of my 15,000 kilowatt hours of electrical use last year. So when I plug those servers up, how's that going to affect my power consumption? So currently the servers that I have running in my home, and here's the crazy thing, guys, and your mileage may vary, but this will help you out a lot. The exact amount that I have left over is about what my servers pull every month. It's about the amount of power that my servers pull every month. So if you don't have that many computers in your house running, then you could be at net zero. You know, if you just follow along and find the vampire power and install a solar system or batteries. All right, if you have any questions, guys, please leave them down in the comment section. I will be answering any question that anybody may have as far as the panel, as far as the batteries, as far as the solar systems. So join me on this journey, and I'll see you guys next month in the next video. All right, have a good one now.